There's been drama cooking up lately in the UFC sphere, and it's between Conor McGregor and Artem Lobov. Artem isn't used to this given his last lawsuit, and it looks like he's on the flip side this time. And now it's getting pretty heated between them, and it concerns Lobov's whiskey business. In this video, we'll be telling you all about the lawsuit McGregor is facing and how it all just got too personal. First off, how it all started. Let's paint a clear picture, shall we? So in November, Conor McGregor's friend turned foe and former teammate filed a lawsuit in an Irish court against him. Yep, it's none other than the former UFC featherweight hammer Artem Lobov. The suit sought 5% of the proceeds from McGregor's $600 million sale of Proper 12 whiskey. It claimed that his teammate was the one who pushed Conor into the whiskey business and arranged the initial deal with distillers. Of course, he responded. It wasn't your usual call-out, though. For this one, he sang a little song and posted it on Twitter as a voice note. Well, at least he's making use of the new feature, we'll say that. The lyrics of the song were minimal, but here's the thing, he called Hammer a rat, and then he kept repeating the word. Yep, it's not something you hear every day. It looks like this didn't fare well for him because now he's being sued again by Artem. Talk about adding fuel to the fire, right? Anyway, this second lawsuit is just as serious since he's accusing him of a concerted social media barrage. It's not looking too good for Conor at the moment. Up next, Lobov's explanation. Having your friend take credit for your idea hurts, right? Well, that's exactly what Artem has alleged his former friend did, and now the entire situation doesn't look like it has a way out with the social media harassment claims. He explained the entire thing in detail while he was promoting a book about his life. He recounted how he convinced the former Ultimate Fighter to get in the business. He first told him about how Irish whiskey is really well loved and the top dog of liquors. Then Conor told him to go off and see what deal he finds. Lobov did just that and went through all the processes. A business definitely requires a lot of work, and the former featherweight champion ticked every box. He said he went to all the distilleries, made all the right calls, and made a really beautiful deal. Once he secured the bag, he told McGregor that everything's been done. This is a $1 billion one, so it's best to take it seriously. Artem doesn't believe he took it to heart, which is how we came to the lawsuit. He also talks about how successful it had become. From his perspective, he wants what he rightfully deserves. Since Proper 12, it was technically his brainchild. Something changed between the two of them since they were tight before. The topic of finances and money has also come up, and Lobov has talked about it publicly as well. And now what Conor gave him. This is the part that makes you wonder what switched in Artem's brain. The fighter revealed that Conor offered him $1 million as a thank you for his role in the company. Interestingly, he turned it down, but not because of the amount or if it was too low. Nope, not at all. This was purely because he was very firm about their friendship. He talked about how the two of them had helped each other pay for camps multiple times. He's never asked for his money back, and that kind of thing just doesn't need to happen. That's what the friendship was like. Emphasis on was because now he's done a 180, and the first lawsuit is suing McGregor for up to $30 million. You heard us, folks? That's a pretty big sum of money. Details of the second lawsuit, where he's suing for online harassment, haven't been released yet. We don't know how much money this will drain from the fighter, but it definitely can't be good. Following up, the online harassment allegations. A new report from The Independent laid out the allegations Artem had reported against Conor. It said the latter had been engaging in a social media hate campaign against the former. Well, that's essentially the gist of it. It also claimed he had the intention of defaming and harassing him. It's quite the nefarious allegation for a guy who's been called notorious. In his own words, Lobov said he got jack squat. For his idea, it looks like he's pretty set on these two lawsuits. According to the report, Conor's father also had a role to play in this situation. He's also being sued for defamation because he said similar things on his own Instagram. McGregor even posted another voice note on Twitter where he cursed his foe and that he looked like an uncooked sausage. Well, there's no coming back from that one. He also called him a waffler, as if all of that wasn't enough. The former featherweight seems really hurt about the entire deal too. He said that the UFC fighter took his help a whole lot, relying on his college degree and his contacts in the beverage industry. Guess we're just gonna have to see what comes of this lawsuit and how much money Lobov wants from him. Now let's look at the other times McGregor has been sued. Firstly, let's talk about the bus attack incident. It looks like this isn't his lucky year. The Irish UFC fighter found himself in another tight situation earlier this December. This was about an incident that happened back in 2018. Let's walk it back a little. Back then, he infamously threw a little dolly onto a bus windshield. It smashed through the windshield and Michael Chiesa got cut by shards of flying glass. Yeah, it was pretty bad. The man had to drop out of his UFC 223 bout with Anthony Pettis because of it. Now, 4 years later, the matter is resolved. Chiesa sued him once before, and only this year has it been settled. It definitely took long enough. Both their attorneys have filed an agreement that neither of them will continue with the lawsuit. It also can't be refiled in the future, ever. Safe to say, it looks like they've buried the matter. They haven't officially released the terms of the agreement or the monetary value that comes with it. The lawsuit claimed negligence, emotional distress, intentional infliction of it, and battery. Michael also stated that a golden opportunity was taken away from him because of his injuries. He could have possibly won a title shot and beat Pettis, but alas, he wasn't able to. Up next, McGregor's plea deal. He avoided jail time when he was sued by Chiesa because he pleaded guilty to disorderly misconduct. It was a close call for sure because his MMA career would have seriously been affected. What's more, they dropped all felony charges. This incident didn't go on his criminal record at all, and all he had to do for compensation was 5 days of community service, plus 1 to 3 days of anger management evaluation. As we said, a very close call. He also paid restitution for the bus, though the amount hasn't been revealed. Of course, they also took precautionary measures and banned him from being near Ray Borg and Michael Chiesa for a whole year, and it seems like trouble always finds him. Coming up, accusations of PED use. If it's not one thing, it's another. Joe Rogan put the fighter on full blast on his podcast called The Joe Rogan Experience, and these were very serious allegations. He's fully convinced that Conor uses performance-enhancing drugs or steroids. This, according to him, happened because he wasn't in the U.S. anti-doping agency and wasn't tested all year. If you know Joe, you know he doesn't hold back. He said that McGregor is always taking his shirt off and showing off constantly, posing, being in the limelight, all of that. He even said that if he peed in a USADA cup, it'd burn a hole right through. Yeah, Rogan was super thorough with that analysis. He went on to talk about a loophole in the USADA where you can just not get tested for PEDs. You can just get out of it and juice up. The thing is, the UFC's anti-doping partner did confirm that the fighter hasn't been in the testing pool at all. He dropped out because he claimed it was for his broken tibia back in July 2021, and he got that from a trilogy bout against Dustin Poirier, actually. This has gotten the attention of many other fighters in the UFC too. It's been a cause for concern, mainly because he keeps posting pictures of his bulked up physique on social media platforms. How do you get that buff without PEDs? That's the question. And now Conor's response to Joe Rogan. By now you've probably guessed what kind of reaction he had. He resorted to social media and tweeted quite a controversial tweet. It's been deleted now, but still, the internet is forever, right? Well, he pulled an Uno reverse card. You can call it that because he fired right back with the same allegation Joe put against him. According to him, it's Rogan's pee that melts his knickers. Yep, he straight up accused Joe of using PEDs instead. There was also a photo attached to the tweet. In it, 2 pictures of the podcaster were put side by side. The first was when he was 25 and the other was when he was 52. It's a side-by-side comparison, and he did bulk up a lot more in the second picture. What's more, Anthony Smith even talked about the situation. He found it quite suspicious when McGregor wasn't getting tested and seemed to only bulk up more. The thing is, he also fractured his leg and wasn't allowed to drop out of the pool, so the double standard was pretty apparent to him, and he even questioned it in a conversation with USA Today. Conor, of course, fired back at him too. He went full blast on Twitter. He called Smith a loser and that he was the most tested fighter in the game. He's given everything he has to this and called the latter an embarrassment to man. Yikes. Well, that's all for this video, folks. What do you think of Artem Lobov suing Conor McGregor for online harassment? Let us know in the comments below. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.